Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sierra Foothills Unitarian Universalists for our winter solstice service. I'm Meg Dorsey, an SFUU member and chairperson of the worship committee, and I'll be your worship associate for this service. Our congregation is served by Reverend A.J. Van Tyne, and we are so fortunate to have him in the pulpit with us this morning. We're also joined for this service by Patty Leffridge, our music director, and Adrian Dills, our Director of Religious Education. We also have special music today from Nancy Tim and Jeff Chamberlain. And we are joined by all of you. You are all welcome here today. In the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways that you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the varied ways that you move through and interact with the world, you are welcome here. With all the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Whether you come feeling despair or hope for our world and its future, you are welcome here. Whether or not you are enjoying the short days and the long nights, you are welcome here. No matter how long you've been away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you here today.
And I want to add my welcome as well, especially to any newcomers or visitors this morning. Our services each Sunday are a little bit different, so do please come back a few times to get to know us. If you now invite Meg to begin our worship for winter solstice by leading us in lighting our chalices.
We light our chalice this morning with words from the Reverend Sharon Wiley. This solstice eve, we honor the ancient traditions that celebrate this time of longest night. We observe that the flaming chalice holds the element of the four directions: earth, air, fire, water. The lamp oil for earth, the air that feeds the flame, the fire that we light. And the chalice itself, the cup, the symbol of water. We light our chalice and reflect on the light we need to guide us through hard times, the light of our shared faith, the light of loving community, the light of love, joy, and hope. And now please join us as we sing our opening hymn, number 73, Chant for the Seasons.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'd like to share a story about offerings. Once upon a time, two friends were debating. The first friend said that she would get a lot of good karma because she took 2 oranges to the Buddha every Friday afternoon. The oranges are so sweet that they will surely please the Buddha, she said, so I will get a lot of good karma from that. The second friend said that he would get more good karma because he took 2 shiny pebbles to the shrine when he visited on Friday afternoon. The pebbles last forever, he said, and so will my good karma. But the monks can give the oranges to hungry people, said the first friend. So my good karma is double karma for the Buddha and karma for the hungry people. Oh, don't be silly, said the second friend. The monks leave the oranges and the flowers on the shrine until they're moldy, and then they take them straight to the compost. My rocks are so shiny, I can just pick them up and put them right back down again the next time. No wasting food, better karma, he reasoned. But you only offered them one time, said the first friend, whereas I bring new fruit every week. More offerings, more karma. The stones I brought have little gems in them. They're more expensive, said the second friend. So that's actually better karma for me. But you found them, said the first friend. The fruit is something I buy with my own money, so it costs me more. It's more expensive, and therefore that's better karma for me. Round and round the two friends debated. But fortunately for them, they were just outside the gate of the temple, and a monk was sitting on the other side of the wall, laughing to herself the whole time. She finally chuckled loudly enough that the friends heard her laughing and peeked around the corner. Suddenly, the friends felt shy and embarrassed. The monk spoke. Why do you give an offering to the Buddha? You set aside something that is beautiful in the moment that you give it. It doesn't matter if you found the stones, or if the fruit costs more, or if it rots on the shrine. It was a beautiful thing as you gave it, and that's what counts. The Buddha on the shrine is a moment of enlightenment, and your offering in that moment is all that matters. Be still and be present. Don't worry about your karma. I'm wondering, do you have an altar or a shrine at home? Is it inside your house or maybe out in the garden? I wonder if you've placed any offerings there lately. Have you dusted it off or swept the leaves away? Perhaps it's a good time to make an offering today for the solstice, for God, or just because it's important to have that moment of stillness and presence as you make an offering. And with those thoughts, I wish you all a wonderful week and a merry solstice.
Thank you, Adrian. In this community of mutual care, we celebrate the great joys of life together, and we help share the burdens of sorrows and grief. And as such, each week we share specific joys and sorrows from the lives of our members in prayer. If you have a joy or sorrow that you would like shared on Sunday, you can email joysandsorrows@mysfuu.org at any time with what you would like to be shared in the service. If there is something that you have on your heart this morning, but you have not emailed ahead but would like to share, you may type it into the chat bar now for others to read. I invite you into a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer. Great mystery which grounds us and surrounds us. Divine presence known by many names and in many, many ways. Spirits of the directions and the elements, north, east, south, and west. Earth, air, fire, and water. Draw near to us in this hour we recognize as holy. As the longest night bears down upon us, a sacred night of quiet and darkness enveloping. A time to be still, to ponder, to grieve losses, to weep, to hope, to celebrate joys and the promise of a new tomorrow, a new year, to hold the dualities of life in sacred balance, the joys and the sorrows which mark the human condition. We in this community share the sorrow of all those facing illness, disease, and death in this season. And we hold tenderly also those grieving losses from many months or even years ago that still linger and pop up like an unexpected guest at the holidays sometimes. In our own community, we hold in our heart Laura, a dear friend of Diane Bogish, who had a massive stroke last Saturday and moved home for hospice care on Wednesday. We offer wishes for swift recovery to Patty Leftridge, who has tested positive for COVID-19 but is thankfully only experiencing generic cold symptoms, is getting plenty of rest, and is recovering well. And Pam Downs has also been sick and awaits test results for COVID-19. And Rick Marshall and Paul Boisvert share that their grandchildren's mother, Karen, the ex-wife of their son David, passed away this morning from COVID. 18-year-old Jonathan has had to be the decision maker during her illness and so is especially distraught at having gone through it all. All our prayers and wishes are with him and his sister Michaela today and going forward. As this historic pandemic continues to surge across the country, its effects are felt near and far, and it does not discriminate as it takes lives of loved ones and family members, as it takes the lives of over 300,000 Americans. We pray for comfort and solace to those grieving. We pray for a successful rollout of the vaccine, and we pray that all in our nation will be cautious and safe this holiday season so that we may collectively avoid the worst of the winter months. And in that caution and safety, there is grief too, for the holiday celebrations that won't be or won't be the same, the family gatherings and annual pilgrimages home that must be skipped this year. We hold tightly onto the hope and promise of these vaccines and are grateful to the scientists who developed and the frontline healthcare workers who will distribute this solve. And even in the face of such death, and in a world so adapted and changed as to be almost unrecognizable, still the rhythms of life beat on. Children grow, jobs end and begin, illnesses are diagnosed and cured, friendships are maintained and new ones made, communities rally together and care for each other, and new life enters the world all the time. This congregation celebrates joyfully with Carol and Ed Coons, whose grandson has made his appearance. Everett Cox was born to Emily and Chris last Sunday. Due to some initial concerns, he spent his first 4 days in the NICU, but recovered well and came home with his mom and dad on Thursday. Great Spirit, sacred energies of the directions, we are grateful for all the gifts and blessings of life and for the turning of the seasons, the time to connect with family and friends in whatever ways we can and are safe, to find soft stillness, quiet calm, where our weary eyes may be soothed and our heart may find comfort and peace. Blessed be. I invite you to continue in the spirit of reflection, meditation, and prayer as we hear hymn number 55, Dark of Winter.
And our reading today comes to us from Rebecca Parker. Perhaps for a moment, the typewriters will stop clicking, the wheels stop rolling, the computers desist from computing, and a hush will fall over the city. For an instant, in the stillness, the chiming of the celestial spheres will be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and then gracefully tilts. Let there be a season when holiness is heard and the splendor of living is revealed. Stunned to stillness by beauty, we remember those who we are and why we are here. There are inexplicable mysteries. We are not alone. In the universe, there moves a wild one whose gestures alter Earth's axis toward love. In the immense darkness, everything spins with joy. The cosmos unfolds us. We are caught in a web of stars, cradled in a swaying embrace, rocked by the holy night. Babes of the universe, let this be the time we wake to life, like spring wakes in the moment of winter solstice.
Watch the stars, see how they run, see what they can teach you. Look up at the sky, and you see a frozen image of constellations and satellites. But look at it again and be reminded that it is ever shifting, always in motion. Stillness, our theme for the month and our focus of meditation for this solstice. Stillness, if there is such a thing, is an illusion. It is no more than a relativity between two objects, a relationship, a balance of perfect harmony. And what better time to reflect on that stillness of motion and motion of stillness than now on the eve of solstice? For that is the meaning of solstice. Sol, the sun, and stis from Latin for standing still. The sun stands still, pausing in its path of lowering in the sky each day between summer solstice and winter solstice, pausing before rising up again, pausing briefly as the nights cease to lengthen and the beginning of the march towards spring and the life of that and summer solstice, the days ever widening. This pause, this split-second moment doesn't really exist. It is the balance left over when the Earth curves around the sun in space, tilted on its axis and following an elliptical orbit, and begins to swing back so that the days, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, the days grow longer. And yet this pause is everything in its significance. It is the turning point. It is the longest, darkest night of the year, the shortest day of the year, a time for reflection, a time for slowing down, a time for stillness, even in the midst of a busy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. The stillness of solstice is regular and always comes back year after year. But giving our focus and our attention to stillness does not mean inaction. It does not mean lifelessness or inattention or boredom. Even when we are sleeping, as still as we are when we sleep, our lungs breathe for us. Our body rises and falls in rhythms. Our heart beats for us. If you've ever learned a musical instrument or to read music, you know that a rest note is not the same thing as not playing the instrument. It is an active stillness, in still lingering from the last note and still ready to play the next note. And the silence that a rest note leaves is as much music as the melody surrounding it. When we ourselves and our bodies sit still on this earth, on the ground, we feel still only because our bodies are moving just as fast and in the same direction as the earth that we lie upon. and all the other objects around us, moving gracefully in perfect harmony. The sun, a constant light in our lives, the source of heat and energy and life on Earth, constant in the light and life it gives, is itself, in fact, a precarious balance, an explosion in slow motion, a balance between the expansive fusion reaction pushing outward and gravity pulling itself back in. At some point, cosmically speaking, one force or the other will win out, and the sun will enter the next life stage as it continues its atomic fusion processes. But our lives, even the lifetime of humanity and history and the earth is so small and so short compared to the sun that we see this explosion in slow motion, in even slower motion, so slow to the point of stillness and balance as we slow our own breath and ponder the stillness of the sun. The longest night being upon us soon, I invite you into a visual meditation. So I will not necessarily ask you to close your eyes, though you may close them at any point that is comfortable, but settle in to wherever you are. Settle into your seat or your standing position. Feel your feet or whatever part of your body lies connected to the ground or whatever it is that supports you. Feel that connection to gravity, to the forces lifting you up, keeping you steady. Just take a moment. Listen to your breath. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Continue breathing in whatever balance your body naturally has. And I invite you to imagine your breaths are as still and balanced as waters lapping against the shore. They are regular but active, yet calm, hypnotizing in their rhythm, still and quiet. As the sun goes down behind the mountains, behind the curve of the earth's body, offer thanks and gratitude to the earth for sustaining you, by soil and water to make our own bodies, by the air we breathe, and the fire that keeps us warm. Breathe in the stillness. Bathe in the silence. As darkness sets in, look to the sky and take in the long, dark night, the still, quiet womb and protector. The mysterious cosmic waters from which all the stars and planets spring forth. Offer thanks and gratitude to the mystery upholding and sustaining all things. Breathe in the stillness. Bathe in the silence. Sit in the darkness. Listen to the quiet and keep your body as still as possible, even as it vibrates. The blood courses through your veins. Keep your body as grounded and connected as possible to this earth holding you up. And as you sit in stillness, know that you are but a tiny creature on the face of the earth, on the face of a humongous planet that you could never see the entirety of yourself. That is not but a pale blue dot itself, suspended in a vast sea of space. Breathe in the stillness. Bathe in the silence. And as you sit, still and quiet on the face of the earth, know that this planet, is in fact spinning rapidly. More than 700 miles per hour, nearly at the speed of sound itself. This planet we are on spins, and we with it, dancing like a whirling dervish in the dark night. And not only are you spinning, but you and this precious earth are hurtling around the sun 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, faster than you can likely comprehend. And this spinning and this revolving around the sun, all happening within a solar system that itself is soaring through the cosmos at 448,000 miles per hour. Our local system, vast and unfathomably huge to us, just a tiny joint in one great limb of an entire galaxy of stars. Breathe in the silence. bathe in the stillness. And we ourselves, moving inexorably towards the winter solstice, connecting with the cosmos and the divine mystery which fills us up, connecting to that source of all things on an auspicious night of darkness and stillness. This divine mystery fills us up and makes us larger and more full of multitudes than our tiny bodies seem possible, more full of multitudes than all the stars in the night sky. In this moment, in this season of stillness, in this great, vast universe, what is the stillness that you seek? What is the stillness that you yearn for? What stillness can you yourself cultivate? Where can you nurture and grow a balanced but active motion through the stars? As the longest night is upon us, what will you whisper to the great dark sky and let it hold for you in its tender embrace? What do you need to let go of, to set down? What do you need to express to another, to your community, or simply to the God of your heart? What offering or dedication do you perhaps feel moved to make, knowing that every kind of gift is precious and beautiful in the moment that you give it? Breathe in the stillness, bathe in the silence. In the stillness of the sun this winter solstice, and the stillness of the dark, may we find comfort, may we find calm, may we find the active, balanced rhythms of life beating within our chests and beyond our horizons, showing us the way forward as we ride the wheel for another year.
Things slowly growing it takes me. Follow the sound of the stars that made me. It's just a ride with many secrets to reveal. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. Fire from the south, from the dragon's mouth. I hear a clarion call. It's time to get things done now. Fields are overrun now. It's time to bring down that wall. I'll take my staff in hand and cross the borderland and search until I found it all. Wheel turning around, I'm going where it takes me. Follow the sound of the stars that made me. It's just a ride with many secrets to reveal. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. Streams are running green now, running through my dreams now, and they touch all that I feel. All the joy and all the sadness, all the peace and all the madness, all my hopes are unsealed. I'll raise the chalice high and drink the flagon dry. All that was hidden now revealed. Wheel turning around, I'm going where it takes me. Follow the sound of the stars that made me. It's just a ride with many secrets to reveal. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. Now the fields are frozen over, everything is undercover. The darkest time of the year. Old sun is rising late. Sister moon, don't hesitate. Shine your blue light so clear. On the road I might join. I'll flip the karma coin. Decide which way that I should steer. Wheel turning around, I'm going where it takes me. Follow the sound of the stars that made me. It's just a ride with many secrets to reveal. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. Wheel turning around, I'm on where it takes me. Follow that sound of the stars that made me. It's just a ride with many secrets to reveal. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. I'm gonna ride on that wheel. Come on and join me now, let's ride on that wheel.
It's often said that the offering is the practice of the free church. That is to say, everything this congregation is and has is only what we bring to it, our time, our talents, and our treasures. In person, this can be a powerful ritual of literally passing the plate and making a contribution. However, rather than ask you to distract your attention from the service with technology during the offering, we now ask you to contribute after the service. As a part of our ethic of generosity, we also split our monthly collection with local community organizations aligned with our values. And this month, the Share the Plate recipient is NorCal Resist, a community-based activist organization that offers a variety of services to asylum-seeking and undocumented persons. Its mission is to build infrastructure against oppression and to empower our communities through shared resources and support. Thank you so much for your generosity.
And now, in benediction, I want to leave you with this poem, The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. And so the shortest day came, and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing, to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beaching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen, all the long echoes sing in the same delight. This shortest day, a promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And so do, and now so do we, here now, this year and every year. Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. As we go forth, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Blessed be.